everyone, my name is Marie-Esther Rouffet. I'm a board member of my national society, the French Red Cross, and happy to be there and to represent. We had the great opportunity to have all those young leaders and so much more young leaders that were around. And we had this great opportunity to exchange on climate change and health. And let me start the speech. So we may believe that climate change is a threat, but the real threat against humankind is our own lack of action. We have heard it at length during this conference. Climate change is happening and has a far-reaching impact on the health of us humans. If we don't take a massive action, we will face a global warming at least 1.5 degrees by the end of the century. Remaining in inaction, we will face a catastrophic scenario at 3.5 degrees or even 5.
Now that we are facing it, it looks like an impossible crisis to overcome. But the results of our past collective actions prove otherwise. History has shown us that it is possible to change the direction of humankind through actions led on a global scale. We prevented nuclear wars. We drastically reduced HIV and polio, extended life expectancy, and reduced child mortality, and so much more. We are positive that we can overcome the climate crisis and achieve the SDGs, but only if we act together. Governments, NGOs, business organizations, media, and the civil society.
We now have two objectives: adaptation, dealing with the health impact of climate change that will happen, and mitigation, making sure that we do not make the current situation worse. As representatives of the future generation, we urge all stakeholders to work hand in hand within a common framework to keep those guiding principles in mind as they take action. First, intergenerational equity, which is the solidarity between the current generation, but also with those to come. Secondly, non-regression, which is ensuring that current global efforts only go toward achieving a sustainable society. Third, planetary boundaries, which is making sure that our development does not exceed available natural resources. Finally, social justice, ensuring that all efforts toward these goals also account for the most vulnerable.
As youth, we believe that change starts with us and within our local communities. We, as the Future Generations Commission, pledge to be role models to bring about this change and to pursue our efforts to advocate for action. But we cannot do it without you.
We call upon governments to pledge to create more resilient health system and to set up universal health coverage for your people, to promote education on health and climate change, and finally, to consider health impact while making climate change policies.
We call upon business organizations to pledge to critically reflect on your long-term business models to bring social impact to the core of your operations. Invest in sustainability and empower youth-led initiatives. And finally, integrate a circular economy principles in your whole value chain.
We call upon NGOs and foundations to pledge to build community awareness through formal and non-formal education, to integrate the effect of climate change in health programming, to build community resilience, and finally, to ensure nobody is left behind while you upscale the crisis response as vulnerabilities are growing.
We call upon the media organizations, may they be press, game developers, and film producers, to dedicate at least 5% of their content to health and climate change, mobilize funds for documentaries on climate change, and finally, be sensitive to the impacts of health and climate change while developing content. And obviously, none of these actions go without drastically reducing our greenhouse gas emissions now.
So what do we commit? We commit to create a strategic plan to be introduced in light of the United Nations General Assembly, including the Climate Action Summit and the high-level meeting on universal health coverage. We call on all stakeholders to come up with a plan of action by September 2019.
And now, I would like to call upon Axel to present a practical tool we have developed during this conference.
Alors, je vais la faire en français. Donc nous avons eu pour objectif de créer un outil qui nous permettait de sensibiliser tant sur le dérèglement climatique que sur les problèmes de santé et ainsi faire le lien entre les deux. Donc nous avons décidé d'agir sur 7 jours. 7 jours représentant 7 sujets dans lesquels vous retrouverez 3 choses. Une sensibilisation. Pourquoi? Quel est le problème? Pourquoi est-ce que c'est important? Pourquoi est-ce que c'est un problème? Des solutions. Comment faire? Mais aussi un challenge, une mise en action. Déjà pour comprendre et se comparer par rapport au problème. Nous avons également décidé d'ajouter 2 jours. 2 jours qui... ok, ça ne projette pas, pardon. Ok. 2 jours qui représenteraient déjà un appel à l'action dans le premier, au gouvernement, aux industries, et puis une promesse d'action, une promesse d'engagement pour devenir un modèle dans nos communautés, mais aussi de manière à être des vecteurs de sensibilisation auprès de nos proches, de nos pairs. Pour ceux qui ne peuvent pas, moi par exemple, je suis infirmier à domicile. Le jour où on me préconiserait de prendre des transports en commun, je ne pourrais pas. Donc nous avons créé un hashtag qui permettrait de partager nos problèmes et ainsi trouver des solutions communes de manière complètement intuitive et participative. Cet outil, il a été créé par la commission, il a été pensé par la commission des futures générations. Mais nous comptons sur vous pour aujourd'hui pouvoir le mettre en œuvre et le développer. Merci.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Axel. This is only a glimpse of what we can do, and we can do so much more. We hope that you are living this conference with hope, while sharing a sense of urgency that we have to take action. The climate crisis is by far our biggest challenge, but it is also our biggest opportunity to finally move humankind to the 21st century where no one is left behind.
Change is not defined by our words, but by our actions. So what will my actions be? What will your actions be? And what will we all do differently tomorrow? Young people are inspired and determined to act. It is our world and our responsibility. Will you join us?
We're waiting for your commitments in September 2019. Thank you very much.